Hey guys, it's your guy Sly. I'm here with 5 tips for beginners to immediately improve when you start playing Apex Season 3. Alright, so you just started playing Apex and you have no idea what the hell's going on. I guess you could probably try just going at it, but probably like me, looking up a bunch of YouTube videos, and definitely helped me a lot. So here's a couple tips I got, 5 to be exact, to definitely help you out, because they helped me out for sure. That'll be number 1, land consistently. Alright, so in this clip right here, I'm in one particular area, and at this point in time I was just dropping over and over and over again, and it's because it gets you completely familiar with the loot paths, so you don't have to worry about like knowing where the loot is. You can just run around, you know where at least something is, and if there's no gun in that area, no armor, you can move on to the next place that you know has stuff. You don't have to worry about running around and checking for stuff. And that definitely helps with your rotations, which actually brings us to number 2. Rotation or location. Alright, so let's say you're landing consistently over and over in that one place, and you've got no idea where you need to go. You could just kind of gun it, go to the next area, or you could actually press your pad in and look at your map. And in your map, you've got a clear idea as to where the best direction is to go. You don't have to worry about having people come up behind you as long as you rotate to an area that won't have anybody there. And if they do have people there, just clear them out, and then that's your spot. I myself like to completely clear out an area before I move on. I will disengage if I have to, but I prefer to clear the area first. You'll see that here in this clip too. And that actually kind of, when you rotate, it kind of brings into the third point, which is ring time and engagement protocol. Alright, so it's ring 3. What is this? This is a different game completely now. Alright, so it's ring 4. If this thing touches you, it's gonna hurt, like, a lot. So what I decide is, like, should I shoot at this guy? Yeah, I had a clear shot. I knew I was going to be able to get a headshot on that. So why not? There's only 3 squads left, and we've got good cover and high ground, which is a huge thing. You kind of have to make sure you're not going to be that guy that pushes when your team is still back here holding the good position. Like, you're going to get killed doing that. It's 9 times out of 10, unless you are a total badass, and I am not, you could probably take care of the entire 3 or 6 or 9 or however many people are over there, depending on if they get third party too. You could probably choose the safer route and just hang out with your team and decide as a group whether you guys want to push or dip. And dipping is a total viable option. There's no real issue with it. I mean, you've got those guys that are balls to the wall. I didn't want to push because we had the high ground. I didn't know if that guy had a Mastiff. You know, I just wanted to play it a little safer. I wanted to win this ranked game without extra risk. That's just my preference, my opinion. If you got a good team and you guys know there's only one guy left, whether he's got a Mastiff or not, if you guys are a good team, you can take him out. Actually, oh, I could have popped that dude. That sucks. There's this right here. I refused to shoot at that guy. There are 2 people right here. I'm waiting for my team to get all set up. I just told them I'm waiting for them to notice us. I noticed he was going to go after our buddy, so I decided to shoot the one on deck first. I'm going to go ahead and toss his ult and kind of just clear off his friend. That way he can't come help. I get my buddy. It's just deciding whether or not you want to push or not. And having high ground, kind of, you don't want to give that up a lot of the time. Which actually brings us into point number 4. High ground and positioning and patience. So, this right here, I've seen so many people jump down. We have perfect positioning right now. As far as we know, nobody's behind us. We know where that team is. We know that there's only 3 squads left. I know so many people when they start to play, they would have seen, oh man, there's a squad down there, there's a single guy, and then they jump down, and they'd immediately get shot. Well, this is the end of that game. I'm okay. This is totally unrelated to the game. This is pretty sad. Maybe you guys can check these guys out and see why it hurts my soul. So anyways, patience and positioning. If you've got high ground, which we had in this game, and our buddy decided to push the entire team by himself, and me and Roger were not with him. So, you know, he might have felt confident in that particular guy, but he got wiped, and once it becomes a 3v2, it gets a little harder. And like I said, I'm not the absolute best, so there's no way I'm going to be able to wipe out an entire squad by myself confidently when it's the last 2 squads. Because most of the times, the last 2 squads, they kind of have an idea as to what's going on. There you go. Oh shit. Well, in this game, we had a friend, and he actually left. The 5th point is to either party up in ranked, which this isn't ranked, or to use your comms in pubs. It makes a big difference whether or not you're partied up with friends and you're speaking with them, or you're just kind of playing with random people and you don't want to speak a whole lot. I can understand that. I do that all the time. But if you want to improve and actually try to better your chance of winning the game, then even if you don't want to talk, just saying something like, oh, I've got guys on me right here, and then just one ping. That way you don't have to double ping and your teammates have to look around. You're giving them a visual and audio communication, not just a cue, if you know what I mean. This right here would be much more efficient than relaying audio communication, but you can't talk or use crypto's deal every single time. Kind of have to put it up in the air whether or not you want to speak or ping. I do both all the time, but that's just because I have learned throughout since the first week of game that you have a much higher chance of surviving a situation when you have solid communication with your teammates. If you guys are kind of just doing your own thing and you are singled out by an enemy, like this guy was, if his team would have heard him, they came. I told Roger that there was a single guy, and then I said full team, which means he'd made a decision right there whether or not he wanted to cover or back up. And he wanted to cover. So I decided, since there was a single guy, to go ahead and push. And we don't have to talk a whole lot anymore since we do play tons of games, which is part of the whole party up and play ranked thing. If you guys want to, you know, go ahead and play the ranked route, which is pure health, it's quite a bit more try-hard. You'll see the difference once you start playing and getting higher up, that the amount of thought that goes behind almost every single move is intensified tenfold just by switching over to ranked and playing in a high level lobby. If you've got one person versus 3, they can't give you any communication. You can't ping anything. You can just, oh, oh, which happens a lot for me. I end up dying, and I still have a good time.
You want to send that
And
guy that picture?
I just wanted to make sure you guys knew I appreciate playing with a party.
Nah, I'll let you
I
go ahead and
appreciate playing
screenshot that and
solos.
send it.
I have a good time playing this game regardless. I hope these tips helped you out, and hope you semi-enjoyed my rambling. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and follow, like, and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you out there. Have a good
Right
one all.
here still. Cup. Got your back. Got your back. Pure health, man. GG, GG. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Nice. Told you we had it, Rod. Calm down, man. It's all like defeated. We did awesome. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do that if you guys didn't stay together as a team. I would not have done half that damage right there. You guys fucking helped a hell of a lot. Way we would have won if it was just me.